Okay, so we're writing functions. And in this lesson, function is another word for equation. So you're going to have a relation, a set of ordered pairs, either in ordered pair form or in table form, basically those two. And you're going to have to take the table or the ordered pairs and write an equation that represents it. Not a story, but an equation that represents it. So it's basically all kind of brand new info. So the thing that we're going to start with is that all functions start with y equals or f of x equals. So when you're starting the equation, when you're going to write down the answer, every single one of your problems, your answers tonight for homework, is going to start y equals. Or you can start at f of x equals. Because remember, these mean the same thing. They can be interchanged. If you're talking about functions, you can either have y or f of x. Step 2 that you need to do is you need to find the change in y value. Change in y values. Find the change in y values. And I want you to find all of them. So you can do this because previously in prior lessons you found all of the y values. So you need to find the change in all of the y values. Then the next thing you need to do is find the change in x values.
Again, all of them.
And last but not least, and this one's kind of the wordiest one, you need to find the y value when x equals 0. You need to find the y value when x equals 0. And then last step is you're going to substitute into y equals mx plus b. And y equals is how every function starts. This m value is your change in y over your change in x. Your change in y over your change in x is your m value. So that's number 2, change in y, over number 3, change in x. It should be a fraction. It could simplify to a whole number, but don't put a decimal. And then your b value is your y value when x equals 0. And that's how you write a function. It's also how you write a linear equation. It's also called point-slope form, or slope-intercept form. Zach?
Isn't that just like the main way to write it? Can it technically be written in a different way? But
This is the main way of writing a linear function. So let's practice. I'm going to give you a table of values. Sometimes tables are horizontal, sometimes tables are vertical. -2, 1, 3, 0, 4, 1. So there's a table. Is it a function? Well, every x value is different, so yes, it's a function. We're going to write the rule. So every function starts out as y equals, correct? Or f of x equals. I did step number 1. What's step number 2 that you wrote down in your notes? What's step 2 that's in your notes? Hint, hint. It's on your paper, and it has the number 2 next to it. Zach, what is it?
the change in y values.
And we want to find all of them. Okay? So I'm going to do it right here. From 1 to 0. Oops, I forgot a sign. That makes it easier. From 1 to 0, what happens? It subtracts 1. From 0 to -1, what happens? It subtracts 1. Now I'm going to find the change in x's. Oh my gosh, I really screwed this problem up. That should be a +2. Not a -2. From 2 to 3, what happens? What happens? +1, right? And from 3 to 4, what happens? +1. So I found my change in y values. I found my change in x values. Next one, step number 4. Find the y value when x is 0. So I'm going to have to expand my table, aren't I? Because do you have an x equals 0 value? No. So we're going to have to go backwards to find it. So if I have 4, 3, 2, what would come next? 1, 0. I'm following the same pattern because it's adding 1 going to the right, so going to the left it's going to subtract 1. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So down here, if I'm subtracting 1 going to the right, what do I do going to the left? Add 1. -1 plus 1 is 0. 0 plus 1 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. Now I substitute into my problem. I have y equals m is my change in y over change in x. What is my change in y? -1 or -1 over, what's my change in x? +1 or +1. What does that simplify to? -1 over +1, Zach? -1. If you want to keep it as a fraction, can you? Yeah. X plus, And then my y value in x is 0. What's my y value in x is 0? 3. And there's my equation. Let's try another one. I'm going to give you a relation this time. $3.22, $4.27, $6.37. I'm going to put it in a table again just because I think sometimes that's the easiest way to look at it. $3.22, $4.27, and $6.37.
I added in a 5 number, by the way.
I think sometimes it's just easier for our brain to look for those patterns if the y values are all right next to each other and if the x values are all right next to each other, especially when we're learning. So what's the change from 22 to 27? Plus 5. What's the change from 27 to 37? Plus 10. What's the change from 3 to 4? Plus 1. What's the change from 4 to 6? All right, so let's complete our table. I need to find my 0 value, right? So this would be 2, right? 4, 3, 2. So 27, 22 minus 5 is 17. 4, 3, 2, 1. 27, 22, 17, 12. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. 27 minus 5 is 22. Minus 5 is 17. Minus 5 is 12. Minus 5 is 7.
Minus 5 is 2.
So we're done because I have a 0 value, correct? So let's start this problem, f of x equals, right? Because it doesn't matter if it's y equals or f of x equals. But here's my question. My m value is the change in y over the change in x. Which one should I use? Because I have the change in y, which is 10 over 2. And I have this change in y, which is 5 over the change in x is 1. Which one should I use?
5 divided by 1.
Who said that? What?
5 divided by 1. I said that.
They're the same thing.
Why are they the same thing?
If you simplify it, they get the same answer.
5 divided by 1.
10 divided by 2 is 5. 5 divided by 1 is 5. They are the same thing. That's the key. If you have something that are different, you need to make sure that they're not truly different. Because when I simplify, they're the same. So, yeah, my change in y over change in x is 5 over 1. But I simplified. X plus, what's my
7.
x, or my y value in x is 0 is 7. All right, one more. I'm going to show you you don't have to make a table to do this. So here's our relation. 1, 4, 2, 7, 3, 9, 4, 12. You don't have to make a table. However, sometimes it really does help. So step 1, y equals, right? Or f of x equals, it doesn't matter. Step 2, change in y. So from 4 to 7, what happens? Plus 3. From 7 to 9, what happens? Oops. Dang it, I've done this how many times today?
Just one.
5.
This should be 10. And this should be 13. Because if I didn't do that, it wouldn't have been an even change. So 7 plus what equals 10? 3. And 10 plus what equals 13? 3. Now let's do our changes in x. From 1 to 2, what happens? Plus 1, right? 2 to 3, plus 1. And 3 to 4, plus 1. Are those all even? 3 over 1, 3 over 1, 3 over 1. We're good. Now we can find our ordered pair. 13, 10, 7, 4. What do you get?
1,
We're subtracting 3 going this way.
0, 1.
And then 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So, change in y over change in x. What are you going to write? Simplify it. 3 over 1 is 3. X plus, what's my y value? When x is 0, my y value in this problem is 1.